Welcome back to Casual Collectors. I'm Steel Wolf.
And Spider Kid.
And today we're going to be reviewing the classic Transformers Nano Hollywood Rides by Jada Toys.
So taking a closer look at the box, you can see a picture of Optimus Prime and Bumblebee and the Transformers logo. And if we look at the back, you can see a picture. And I kind of like how the picture looks. You can see Optimus Prime with looks like a battle going on. I think it looks pretty cool, and you can see our 3 cars right there. And a bunch of Lego stuff right there.
With that said, let's take a closer look at these guys out of the package. Alright, so here we have Optimus, Bumblebee, and Starscream out of the package. And right off the bat, these guys just look really cool. Really awesome. They look like they have a lot of detail. What do you think, Spider Kid?
I think it's pretty good too. I like how it has a shiny metallic look. I like the paint. It's like a bright red, bright yellow. It brings most of life.
Yeah, it definitely gives off that classic Transformers cartoon vibe. I mean, that's what they went for, and they nailed it. I mean, just the colors on these guys look great. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at some of these details. So let's start off with Optimus here. Let's take a closer look here and check out some of these cool details here. Right off the bat, we can see that nice logo there. The Autobot logo looks really nice with that metallic gray. And then we got more of a flat gray here for the side panel on the windows there. And also, if you didn't see from the packaging before, these are actual die cast, so these are metal. And again, let's take a look at the front here. More of that flat gray. We got some chrome paint there for the grille. Some metallic paint here for the bumper. On the side, pretty much the same. The wheels have that cool little chrome paint there. Back here we have the whole exhaust system back here, and that looks really nice. It's all chrome. And then we got here the back of the actual truck here. We got these side panels here. Those have a metallic gray. We got this all black paint, and you can still see that detail of where the trailer would attach to right there. That looks cool. The bottom, not much.
No, I do gotta say, I realized is that there's no scratches on it, and they put time and effort into this because everything it looks you don't see paint where it's not supposed to be. It's all in place, and it's colorful.
Yeah, no, it looks great. They definitely showed some care when they did these guys. Here we have Bumblebee, and let's take a closer look here. So again, right off the bat, we're going to notice that Autobot logo there in red, which looks really clean. I mean, look at those paint lines. That looks really good.
And I'm pretty sure, I think there's a scratch right there, above the logo, I think.
Yeah, it's a little, it got nicked or something. But I mean, even with that on there, these things just look great.
Yeah.
Silver paint there for the headlights. Black paint for the bumper. You get all this sculpt here with these lines here on the hood there. A little bit of a silver paint right there in the middle. That looks great. On the top, there's not much. On the sides here, we got sculpted in there the doors, the windows. Paint looking good. We got some chrome paint on the rims there for the tires.
I think the wheels are pretty realistic, kind of. It has that realistic kind of cartoonish kind of look to them.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool. And these roll very well, by the way, which we'll show you a little bit later. Here's the back. Got some nice detail on the lights there, and then the handle to open the trunk. Same goes for this side. This side's a little bit more beat up, but I mean, honestly, I think it just adds to it, I think it just kind of gives it more character, these little scratches and these little nicks.
Yeah.
Especially for being a Transformer.
Yeah.
Here's the bottom, again, not much. Autobot logo, some serial numbers. Alright, let's take a closer look here at the star screen here. So right away, this guy just looks like he even has way more detail than the other ones. But look at all those lines. We got the cockpit there painted yellow. We got those cool Decepticon logos there in purple, and the classic purple color. Oh, yeah. That looks great. That metallic shine, the paint that it has.
It's the gray and metallic shine. It makes it look a lot more cooler.
Yeah, I mean, just look at that in the camera. That looks great. We got these big old wings fins here. More crazy 80s classic wings. Front looks good. Here we have the bottom. And the side here towards the bottom. There you go. And here's the little wheels. And, even for a plane, this guy rolls pretty well. You know, he moves pretty well.
Yeah. I was actually looking at the movie version of him, and it kind of looks like the same, but I still like this version of it.
Yeah, they didn't make a movie version of this one, even though that they did make a Transformers movie version of these little toys, but it was just the beat up Camaro Bumblebee, and then they had the one where he scanned himself into a newer model Camaro, and then they had the Optimus Prime, but they didn't have the Starscream in that little 3-pack. So instead of making a whole nother video on these Jada Toys, we wanted to bring you also the Back to the Future collection here. Now, unfortunately, we got too excited and we opened these guys out of the package already, but you can see here on the screen what the packaging looks like. So we picked these guys up at Target for about $7.99, and right now in our local store we can't even find them anymore, but you can still find them at Walmart, which you're going to pay a little bit more, or you can find them currently on Amazon for about $9.89. That also included the Transformers ones that you just saw. We also paid about $7.99 for those. Alright, with prices out of the way, let's go ahead and get into some details here. Alright, without delay, let's go ahead and get a closer look at the DeLorean from Back to the Future here. So right away, you're going to notice this nice metallic paint. I mean, getting the paint to look metallic is awesome, but then the fact that it feels metallic is even better, and that's because it's die-cast. These guys just look great, and they got a nice little weight to them too. They're not too heavy, but it just feels right. There's not much detail on the car itself. We got some of these little lines here that are sculpted for the gull wing doors here.
I like how it's like trying to get like a movie look. That's why I think the paint looks good, because it looks like the movie one.
Yeah, in real life, I mean, you're too young to know this, but those DeLoreans were actual real cars that they sold, and they looked exactly like this, except for minus all this crazy stuff back here and these crazy exhaust ports. But other than that, that's pretty much what they looked like. They were just big, gigantic hunks of metal. But back to these details. I mean, look, you got those doors sculpted in. We got some side mirrors there. Towards the back here, we have these, in the movie, these are like little added little wiring or whatnot that they had back here. We have all this cool sculpted detail here. And since this is the one from the first movie, you don't have that fuel thing that Doc Brown put in where he puts the trash in to give it an alternate fuel source. That's not in there yet. Looking at it from the back, it looks really nice. Detail on these exhaust ports looks good. Here's from the other side view. Back to a top view. And now for a front view. You can even see that the headlights there are kind of sculpted in. It looks good. And let's go ahead and take a look at the bottom here. And again, these guys roll very nicely. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the DeLorean from Back to the Future 2. Now, taking a closer look here from the top, we can definitely, the first thing that we're going to notice are these things right here, where my finger is, right over here. And these are actually the tires that are folded outwards. Because again, if you remember, in the second movie, Doc Brown upgraded it so that it could fly. And that's what this here is. It's meant to look like the vehicle is flying. But it still has its wheels here on the bottom, as you can see. And we even get sculpted detail on these flat wheels here, even though they don't really function.
Which I think is really cool.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I mean, just look at that detail. It looks great. And these still roll very nicely. Let's go ahead and take a look back to the top here. Again, kind of the same sculpting as we saw on the other DeLoreans. Back to the top here, we see the same sculpting as we saw in the previous DeLorean here. We got still the same details right back here, except for now we actually have that device right here, the device that Doc Brown upgraded so that he can use trash as a fuel source. Although I think to make it more accurate to the film, they could have painted it white. But hey, I mean, come on, it still looks cool. And if you notice now, they actually painted this little wiring thing here. They actually gave it some paint. Versus on the one that we saw earlier, it didn't have that. Let's bring it out here just so we can compare, as you can see. That one has paint here, and this one does not. Back to some details here. Turn it back around towards the back, and again, not much other than these exhaust ports here that are sculpted in. To the other side, not much. Still looks good. We got now this added new paint here. And I believe these little blue paint spots that they've painted blue, in the movie, I believe when they're going through time, those are the ones that light up. Like they light up with that kind of like bluish glow. So I believe that's what it's referencing with this paint here. And again, here's from a top view so you can see those tires folded out. That looks cool. And again, this guy does roll. And last but not least, we have the DeLorean from Back to the Future 3. Alright, let's get a close-up of this guy. So right away, looking at it from the top, you're going to see all this crazy stuff here on the front. Looks really good. A lot of little detail in there. Now, I know I'm going to kick myself for this because I love these movies, but I can't recall what this front part here was. I'm sure once this video is done, I'm going to research it, and I'll definitely put some info here for you guys. But I'm going to hate myself for that I don't know that. Or at least can't remember that. But other than this cool sculpted detail, we don't have anything else that's new on this guy. We still have the little trash thing that recycles it and turns it into fuel. On the sides here, we actually have different color rims now, because in the movie, they're actually the same color there. They changed the color of the rims. I can't recall why. I think it was because the flight system that it had was broken or something like that. I can't recall. It's been a while. Here we have a shot from the front. Again, not much difference from the other two DeLoreans. Here we go from the side. We have that paint gone now from the side here on this little tube, as well as in the front here. Here's from the back. And that's about it. That's all that's really different, are these rims that are painted red and this little piece up here on the front. Here's the bottom. Tires that roll here, and there you go. And here we have the classic Transformers and the Back to the Future Nano Rides all together and looking awesome here. Now, granted, these are from two different franchises, but I mean, they just look so cool. So cool. They don't scale very well with each other though, because I mean, honestly, the Optimus Prime truck would be a lot bigger than the DeLoreans and even the Bumblebee, but hey, it works, it looks cool, and they're metal.
And you can put them in a display and it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, just to display these guys, they just look awesome. Alright, so let's go ahead and make some size comparisons with these guys and other similar toys. Here we have the classic 80s Transformer Nano Rides next to a Micro Machine. Really quickly here, just to give you an up-close comparison, here is your Nano Rides Optimus Prime here, looking amazing, and here is your Micro Machine's blind bag car. And as you can see, they're both pretty much about the same size. Yeah, the Optimus Prime is a little longer and a little bit bigger, but these guys would go very well with the Nano line, except for the fact that they kind of just look a little bit more toyish when it comes to the colors for the paint apps here, compared to your Nano Rides. Here we have the Hollywood Nano Rides Back to the Future set with the Micro Machine. And here's that same comparison here with the Micro Machine, but next to the DeLorean from Back to the Future 2. And again, as you can see, definitely the Back to the Future 2 car has a lot more realism to it, if you ask me. It doesn't look as goofy, in a sense, as the Micro Machine does when it comes to at least the paint apps. Again, it has the brighter, kind of toyish kind of look to it. Here we have the driven mini vehicle next to Bumblebee and the DeLorean from Back to the Future 1. And here it is next to the Nano Hollywood Rides Starscreen and the DeLorean from Back to the Future 3. Alright, so to give these guys a rating here, I'm going to give these guys a rating of legendary. Mainly because I actually love how small they are. I love the fact that they are die-cast, and just the paint apps are amazing. And not to mention the details.
No, I agree. I would give this a legendary because I think that the paint apps are really good. They're really bright, and there's no like mispaints or scratches on it. And I think like the detail on it is good. Like on some things that are small and don't really need detail, have detail.
Yeah, so and these guys, whether you collect little mini cars or you don't, these guys just look cool sitting on your shelf. And also, if you collect action figures, these guys would make great props for background photos. I mean, if you put these guys in the hands of a Marvel Legend or a Mezco or a Mafex or any other figure line like that, they scale pretty well as toys for your figures. So other franchises that the Nano Hollywood Rides do are the classic G.I. Joe vehicles. They come in a 3-pack. And they also do Fast and the Furious in a 3-pack. And they also do Harry Potter in a 2-pack.
Another ones they do is the Adam West classic Batman vehicles and Batman Return vehicles.
So just to name a few franchises that I wish the Hollywood Nano Rides would do, would definitely be one, Ghostbusters. I mean, they normally come in 3-packs, so I would say they should give us the Ecto-1 from the first movie, give us the Ecto-1 from the second movie, and then give us the Ecto-1 from either the Afterlife movie or from the all-female cast movie. Now, if they did give us the one from the Afterlife movie, let us have that gunner seat exposed. I think that'd be really cool, especially with some, like, you know, paint apps to make the Ecto-1 look old and beat up like we saw there on the trailer. Another franchise off the top of my head that I can think would be cool to see the Nano Hollywood Rides do would be the vehicles from Aliens. Now we can have, again, a pack of 3, and they can give us that APC car that they're driving in the Aliens movie with all the Colonial Marines inside, and when Ripley drives it, that'd be so cool to see. And then they can give us that little drop ship that, you know, bring the Colonial Marines down to the planet. And for a third one, I think maybe they could give us the bigger mothership that they came in. I don't know what else they could give us.
I mean, what I was thinking, they can give us a power loader.
Yeah, the power loader would be really cool to see in that size, you know, all tiny. And as for the wheels, though, I think they could just add wheels at the bottom of the feet, you know. It's not going to move or anything, but at least it could still roll. But I think that would look so cool in that little tiny scale and being die-cast. So what do you think, Spider Kid? What are some franchises that you'd like to see?
Well, for starters, I think they should add a Deadpool franchise. Mostly what I would like to see for that would be a taco truck, because he does drive that around in the comics. A taxi truck, which he drives in the Deadpool movie. And finally, I think they should add a scooter.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Especially if the little taxi had a little Deadpool logo somewhere, you know, maybe on the license plate or on the hood, but that would be cool.
Yeah. So another option I would like to have would be a Pixar kind of like thing. And the first car I think it should be is Guinevere from Onward. And I think the second one should be the Pizza Planet truck from Toy Story. And I think the third one should be Mike Wazowski's car from Monsters, Inc.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool collection. I'd like to see that. Even though we only really saw Mike Wazowski's car for like a split second, but I think they did a short about it.
Yeah.
But that'd be some cool little collections to see, just those 3 on the shelf. That would look cool.
And for one more, I think they should also add a Marvel one. And I think the first one should be the Spider Buggy. Another one should be a Quinjet. And the third one should be the freaking Thanos copter.
The Thanos copter, yes. We got to see that briefly in the last episode of Loki. Yeah, very cool. And that wraps it up for our multi-product review. I'm Steel Wolf.
And Spider Kid.
Continue collecting. And remember, stay casual.